Howdy folks, Papa Joe here. Remember, I've got a bright light right there in my eyes, so I normally try to look at the camera. Boy, already got a headache, been one of them days. I received a phone call the other day from a good friend of mine in Georgia. He's known me, 15 plus years. We got pretty close. We spent a lot of time together. So he knows quite a bit about trucking, so to speak. And he had a young fella come into his business the other day that they got into conversation. The fella's going to start trucking, going to truck driver school. So Steve turned him on to this channel, told him he might find something in there that he could learn from. And he also asked that I go ahead and break down a few posts or a few videos for people that's just starting or thinking about starting, to enlighten them a little bit about trucking. So I allowed that wasn't all bad idea. I'll grant you, a lot of truckers that watch this are going to be bored. Well, don't watch it. But if you know somebody that's getting into it, or think they want to get into it, send them this way. Trucking. It's a hard life. It really is. It's a hard life. Told people for years that your first 5 years out here, oh man, it was just great. It was a blast. The next 5 years, it was okay. 5 years after that, getting old. 5 years after that, it's a job. 5 years after that, and yes, I've been out here 25 plus years. Now you feel trapped. And trucking can be a trap. Now, after you get some experience under your belt, you can make decent money out here. You can't make as good of money as we used to. Everything getting regulated and electronic and computerized, and you can't cheat on this electronic log I got. We used to cheat on the paper logs. Now, I can't tell you much about the schools. What I can tell you about the schools is that you're not really going to get a whole lot of training for your money. They're basically going to get you just enough to get your CDLs. And that's just about enough to get you in trouble. Then you're going to have to go with one of these big major companies. Swift, CR England, a bunch of them big monster companies. They're going to take you on. They ain't going to pay you worth squat. Seriously. You're going to have to go out with a trainer. And that depends upon the company and how good you perform. But anywhere from 4 weeks to 10 weeks, I'll say. I think 6 to 8 weeks is closer to the norm, but there's extremes on everything, exceptions to every rule. Now, while you're out there training, I've heard anywhere from a couple $100 a week to $300 or $400 a week, and it's usually closer to the $200 to $300 a week that the company pays you. So you're not getting paid your mileage for driving or none of that. They just pay you a flat amount. What few miles that you drive, your trainer's going to get paid for those miles. So you're not going to make a whole lot there in the beginning. And I haven't heard in a while, but now once you're done with your trainer and you get your first truck, 25 cents a mile type thing, that's chump change. they make agreement with you that if you drive for them for a year or 2 years or whatever, then they're going to pay off your school for you. Some of the companies still take your money, then we're going to give it back to you if you don't quit. So, you got to watch that. But you get your training done with the school. You get out there with a trainer. Now you're on your own. You're making a quarter of a mile. And this is just guesstimation. Those big companies, from what I hear, if you average 2,000 miles a week, you're doing pretty good. There are drivers that are doing better, getting like 2,500 miles a week. So those are the ones that been out a little bit and they know how to hustle and play the game. I'm really trying hard and struggling not to sound negative, because I've been out here for so long, and this has provided for my family for 25 years. It raised my kids, it's paid my bills, so it ain't all bad. However, there's two sides to every coin. I missed a whole lot of my kids growing up. So will you. You really need a strong woman behind you, because I think if you do the research, you'll find out the trucking industry's got, maybe the military might have higher divorce rate, but last I heard, trucking industry had the highest divorce rate. Because you're out here trucking, the wife's back home, she's getting saddled with everything. She's the one that's trying to pay the bills. You're out here making $300, $400, $500 a week. You have to live off that. It's not cheap to eat out here. If you're lucky, you're sending her a couple $100 a week back home, plus whatever she's doing. So she's got all the stress. So you need to have a good, strong woman behind you, or husband if you're a woman coming out. So you ain't gonna be seeing your kids a whole lot. You're gonna be missing out on school functions and all that. Your wife's getting saddled with all the burdens, and you're pretty much making chump change. You gotta pay your dues to get started. Alright, now once you get going, you've been out here a little while. You're learning how to play the game, how to work the system. You're getting a little bit more money. So you've been out here about a year. Let's say you're getting 32 cents a mile, maybe 35, because I think about 35 or so is the national average right now. You're getting 3,000, 3,500 miles a week. You're not going to get a steady dose of 3,500 miles a week. It'll be closer to 3,000 if you're lucky for an average. Even at that, do your math. You're going to be doing good to gross $1,000. Now it's going to cost you anywhere from $100 to $200 a week out here. You can be real thrifty, and if you don't smoke, if you drink water, if you don't eat no junk food, you can survive on $100 or less a week. But you got to work damn hard at it. On the other hand, I've known drivers out here that just eat high on the hog, eat out of the truck stops a couple times a day. Truck stop meal's going to cost you an average of $15 to $20. So time you have a meal, a drink, and a tip, if you get out for less than $15, you did good. So if you do that twice a day, there's $30. If you're making a quarter a mile, that's going to take a heap of miles to pay for your eating. Now, Obama wants his share. The insurance company wants their share. whatever state you're from, your governor wants his share. So just how much are you sending to mama? Is that worth being away from her? The hours that you're going to work. Now, they're going to tell you that you can only drive 11 hours a day, work 14 hours a day. If you're J.B. Hunt, a buddy of mine was telling me that he would listen to Sirius Radio, and J.B. Hunt's guy got on there on an interview. He said that their drivers did good to average 7 hours a day driving time out of their 14. You do the math. Trucks like that, they're governed at 65-ish. If you got a 65 mile an hour governed truck, you're going to be damn lucky to average 60 miles an hour. So you do the math. 60 miles an hour times 7 hours a day times, let's say, 30 cents an hour. That don't take a whole lot of math. Now knock out that $30 that you spent on just those 2 meals. We're not talking about any soda pops or anything else you got during the day. It's not all the glamour that they make it out to be. It can be very, very expensive on you. Expensive as in you're not making the money, and what's it going to cost you back home? I've been fortunate. I was a trucker when me and this wife got together. She knew that this is what I did, and she's dealt with it. That ain't saying it ain't been hard on either and or both of us. But we both know this is what I do. So, after you get about 2 to 3 years under your belt, if you've kept a clean record, you don't have a bunch of tickets, you don't have a bad CVRSA score, you haven't changed jobs a million times. That's the biggest problem drivers get into out here. It's real easy to quit this job and go to that job, and these jobs are all pretty much the same. You try to talk to your recruiters, and they're professional used car salesmen. They're going to lie to you and tell you whatever it takes, whatever you want to hear to get you in the truck. So they swap job to job to job to job. That ain't good. Some of the better companies, they get looking at that and they're like, well, you've been driving for 3 years, you've had 8 jobs. Now why in the world do I think you're going to stay with me? So you don't want to keep swapping out them jobs like that, folks. You need to do a whole lot of homework. You need to, if you're really serious about it, you need to hang out down at the truck stop. And if you have a truck stop around you that has a repair garage there, you need to hang out down there with some of them drivers that's getting their stuff worked on, getting the repairs done. Try listening. Just listen to some of them. Try talking to some of them. And quite a few of them. Don't go down and talk to 1 or 2 drivers. And a lot of these drivers are going to be blowing a lot of smoke up your skirt too, telling you your grass is on fire. It's a hard living. If you can do anything else, I would recommend it. You get trapped in it. I'm trapped. I've been doing this 25 years. I'm overweight. I used to do construction and stuff. All the new zones and ordinances and building codes and all that stuff is so far behind me. I ain't got a clue what all the new stuff is. And in 25 years, I guarantee you they've changed it. I'm not a computer guru. That's what the world's turning to. I'm too old and fat to be a lumper. a laborer anywhere. So I'm pretty much stuck here. You need to be careful before you come out here and you get stuck. It is a trap. With that being said, I'm going to make a few more videos just for beginner truckers and try to educate you a little bit about it. But there's the first one on it. So think long and hard. I do not recommend this to anybody for a living. If you have any life at home, if you have a good relationship, if you have kids you want to see growing up, I do not recommend this at all. If you don't like your wife, well, then this would be a good job. If the kids are driving you crazy and you want away from them, well, this could be your job. If you like being out here by yourself, not talking to people, just being isolated, this is, I tell a lot of people, this here's my rolling cell. You know, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. You got to be going down the road. Well, this is my cell block. This is my cell. So, it's a hard life. Somebody got to do it. Once you get your dues paid and you figure out what's going on, you can make a decent living out of it. With the big corporations and the government and everything else, they all keep making it harder and harder for us to make money. I made more money, had more spending money, however you want to say it, 25 years ago than I do today. And that's a crying shame. Crying shame. It's like that all over the country. It ain't just this industry though. A lot of the union guys, they was complaining about that a while back. Yeah, they're making a little bit more, but they had more profit years ago. All right, that's it. So your call. God bless. Make a good decision. Think long and hard. Don't make a fast decision. Think long and hard. Y'all have a good night now.